Hey everybody, Corona Davis Diop here. Welcome to the Black Filmmakers Matter podcast. And today we have the wonderful filmmaker, actor, producer extraordinaire, Ken. Thank you for coming with us, Mr. Gregory. Ken
Thank you
Gregory,
so
everybody.
much. Well, thank you. I appreciate this opportunity, Corona. I really do. So, anytime that I can get on and talk about what I love, that's a win. Especially talking to us.
I love that. Okay, family, let's get down to work. Tell me about where you grew up.
I grew up in Detroit.
Okay.
I grew up at a time in Detroit. I realized once I moved here to LA, I realized how privileged it was to grow up during that time. I grew up in Detroit during the 70s into the 80s. I graduated from Wayne State. At the time, I had one mayor who was my mayor for my entire generation, which was Coleman A. Young. He was the first Black African-American, however you want to identify. He was the first Black mayor of Detroit. He served a historic 5 terms from 1974 to 1994. He would have run again had he not gotten sick, but he was my mayor. And he was one of those first mayors around the country where we started to see and experience Black power, Black equity. We started to experience a pride in who we were. Right. At the time, home ownership in Detroit shot up. We were able to live in zip codes that we couldn't live in. When I was born, I'll never forget, my mother said that they got a house in a small area called Highland Park, which is still in Detroit. But at the time, they weren't allowed to sell to Blacks. Mm-hmm. And what my family historically, and I'm talking about my grandmother, my great-grandmother, and my mother, they were each able to buy their homes from Jewish homeowners who did not care about that. They were just like, you got your money, here's your house. Right. And so we were a lot of times, the very first to live in certain areas that are now predominantly Black. So I'm proud of my city, man. I love it.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it is. Because when I got out of Detroit, like I said, living in the bubble, I wasn't used to some of the things that I was hearing about that was going on in other cities. Because I was like, well, we don't experience that. I mean, and my mayor, he fought for everything. We had to fight with the suburbs, which were predominantly white. Mm-hmm. But, you know, some of the stuff that was going down, we just did not experience that. And that's when I realized how powerful it was to have our own infrastructure.
Yes, sir.
We controlled, that we voted, that we had a voice. And so that was a privilege to grow up during that time.
Wow, that's an amazing story. Oh my God, thank you for sharing that. Now tell me about the many hats you wear. I know you're an actor.
I started out behind the camera. Okay. Now, I did a brief stint. This is how I got introduced to my creative side. I did a brief stint in Atlanta from 1997 to 2006. It was around 2003 that I really started to tap into that creative side. I started writing. And I started writing books, and I was doing fiction books, and I was self-publishing. So I always had my business game on as far as that. I was about to get laid off. I was working this at a time when we had telephones, you know, that we dialed at the home with the wireless, not the cell. But I was getting ready to get laid off because cell phones were taking over from my job at the phone company. And part of the union contract was I was actually able to take classes in whatever it was that I wanted that the company would pay for. So at the time when I was doing the creative writing, I'd signed up for a creative writing course. And it was at Georgia State University. And I signed up and I thought I'm coming into a course about creative writing for books. I come to find out it was a creative writing course for filmmaking. And my instructor at the time, I love her, was Dr. Shirlene Holmes. And a lot of people, if you're from Atlanta, you know who she is. She was phenomenal in helping me really grow, introducing me to Faith Trammell, who was still a friend, a fellow filmmaker. And that really ignited that passion. And so my first project was a documentary that I did. And it got into a really good film festival in DC that's no longer anymore. But they flew me out. They put me up. They had me do a Q&A, and it was from there that I knew this is what I want to do.
And around what age did all of that, you know?
That would have been 33 30,
Okay.
34, yeah. Yeah,
Young.
mid-30s.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but in the industry, it's kind of late because most people start in their 20s. So, but I didn't. And I thrived there. My mom unfortunately got sick. Thankfully, she's cancer free, but I had to move back home to Detroit. And that's how I ended up back home and just put everything on hold, because my thing is filmmaking will be there, but you get one mama.
Say that again. Ken.
Filmmaking, act, I don't care what title you got, that'll always be there, but you only get one mama. One mama, one daddy, however you only get one. And however you choose to treat them, trust me. I hope that filmmaker fulfills you, because my thing is it's not going to fulfill me if she's not here. So
wow.
I take my mom with me on film festivals, and she's been able to see me grow into my art. But yeah, I put it on hold. It started back. I didn't start back until I moved here in 2018. So that was 2007 that I shut it down, and it started back in 2018, nearly 11 years later.
Wow, Ken.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I want to talk to you off the record, man. Get on the record. We need to have a meeting.
That's what's up.
Oh my God. Your favorite part of filmmaking?
Oh, it's got to be because I write, but before I really got into the writing aspect, it was putting all the pieces together so that we could get on set.
Okay.
So it's always been pre-production and production.
Okay. All right. That's a new
part,
one,
The part that I hate, post-production.
Would that be editing?
Oh my God, yes. And Barry Jenkins, Barry's one of those that I look up to. Barry was one who admitted, and he was the first one that vocalized. He said, "I hate it is. You hate post-production because it takes so long." But in all honesty, if the soup is not ready, the last thing you want to do is serve it when it's not ready. Because once it all comes together, I've made that mistake once before where I was rushing trying to get out of post-production, and in the end, it was disastrous. So as much as I hate it, I still have to learn to take my time with it.
Okay, another piece of advice, young people: take your time, and new people.
Yeah.
Now, I'm ready.
Let's do
Projects.
it.
Now, I got one I want to talk about, and hubby told me to throw this question in too for him. Tell me about Huey.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Okay. Whoo! We're about to go deep. Huey, we just got finished talking about where I came from in Detroit. And in Detroit, Huey was idolized all the way from Oakland, California to Detroit, Michigan. I never forget seeing that poster of him representing in the wicker chair, and he represented the strength that my mayor represented, and it was that Black power, and I just love seeing it. Even though we didn't experience some of this stuff, it was just amazing that I saw someone that looked like me represented on billboards and posters, because we know we weren't represented like that in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
So what was so amazing is when I moved here, I'll never forget the film Judas and the Black Messiah was coming out. And I got all excited. I'm ready. I'm thinking like, okay, we about to talk about Huey. And they didn't. And I was like, how are we not going to talk about the face of the movement? What did we miss here?
Right.
And that's when I knew I needed to fill that void. I just needed to do it on a small enough scale,
right,
fit in my budget. But I took it from the tail end of his story, which is after the government tried to ruin him, and they finally kind of succeeded pushing him to his edge in 1989, that I just chose to say, this is a story we're going to tell. Because I think everybody knows a little bit about Huey, but I think the ending part is the part that got murky. And I needed to put out a piece that represented that, number one, this man was a father, he was a husband, he was a brother, he was an uncle, he was a friend. So no matter what you've heard about him, struggling with drugs, dealing beating people up and this and that and the other, we all got our demons. Some of us choose to sleep with them better than others.
Right.
And I just chose to just acknowledge the fact that, yes, he was flawed, but at the end of the day, what he did for us as a people, especially in Oakland, oh my God, was amazing. And considering what we're going through in the country right now, with
Mhm.
black men being shot, black women being shot,
Yes, sir.
you know,
Mhm.
they silenced his voice, but he was telling the truth. He was speaking the truth, and we still need to listen. Because one of my favorite phrases in the film that I talk about is the party is still needed today as it was 20 years ago, 40 years ago.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's keep it 100.
Yes,
You know?
100.
Yeah. So Huey came about just me seeing where my hero was not being represented on screen the way that I felt it should. And why not take that opportunity to speak a voice into someone who made such a difference in so many people's lives?
Yeah, you're an artist. You just did some work right there.
Yeah.
Look at you. Wow. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. And I
Oh
said, I
my God.
wanted to send, and I normally I don't send a screener copy to me, but something in my spirit said, no, send this so they can see it, because I want you guys to see what we put together, not just the trailer, but the whole film, and get a sense of what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, man, that's deep. Thank you.
Yeah.
And is it out? Is it coming out? Is it in the circuit?
Right now, it's on the film festival circuit. Praise God, we got into one of the oldest, an Oscar qualifying and predominantly all Black. It's the Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival in Martha's Vineyard. It's going to be screening. We've been told tentatively right now, I believe the date is August 3rd or September 3rd, the second day of the festival, which is a good slot. And so I'm planning to be there. I'm just really excited that they recognize the work.
Yes.
And
All right. If you guys make it, call me so I can interview you.
Yeah.
Right after. Oh my God. I'm so proud of you guys.
Yes.
Awesome.
So it's still right now, it's halfway through the film festival circuit.
Mhm.
We've got another about 30 festivals waiting to see if they're going to accept it. But as a filmmaker, any of us will understand you're not always going to get in to the
That's
ones
right.
you want to get into.
That's
And
right.
you're going to be disappointed because I'll admit, most of the ones, a majority, I would say 80% of the festivals I submitted to were Black, and we've only gotten into one.
Okay.
Halfway through. So it is what it is, you know, and I still respect the decisions. But after this film festival, yes, we're going to put it out on a small distribution. So I'll always kind of keep people up to date. We're going to try to get it out on the certain networks or even platforms to be able for people to be able to see it.
Okay. O Prime.
Yep.
Okay. So tell us about Weary Blues.
Oh, Weary Blues is another one about one of my heroes. And once again, we look at where we are as a country today with critical thinking and critical theory, and then want to do away with Black art. I chose to take a poem written by what I would call the father of the Harlem Renaissance, Langston Hughes. His title of his play was The Weary Blues, and I decided to convert that into an adaptation, given the words, and that's exactly what I did.
You didn't.
Yeah, I did an
No,
adaptation of Langston Hughes's play to show the importance of the time period and what was going on. And then when I was reciting those words, I'm realizing this brother once again was speaking about what was going on and what we needed to do and how we were able to overcome. That's the thing I loved about Weary Blues. He talked about how we were able to overcome it in spite of what was going on with us as a people. So yeah, that one was another one. That one finished its film festival circuit. It did really well. It's viewing on my Venmo as well as my Instagram as well as YouTube. People can see that because it's just a small 6-minute piece, but I'm proud of that one as well because it's by, again, another one of my heroes.
All right. Wow. Langston Hughes. I love that man.
Yeah.
One of my favorites to study in school. What don't you like about our industry?
I'm going to share with you because I know she follows this as well. Something that I call her a legendary casting director, Tracy Twinkie Bird. And I love that way they call her the Diamond Finder. And many people will know who she is. But one of the things that she talked about, and I agree with her now, is that we don't see a lot of us in the media. We'll have a wave that will come, and then that wave will go, and we'll go through another dry spell, and then another wave again. And so what I hate about it is that a lot of times we have to fight to get our stories told, to get our stories distributed, to get our stories seen. It's gotten a lot easier than it was back in the day, but we still got to fight.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I hate. It's the part that I hate the most. Like I said, we've got, and the proof is out there. We are still at this day with only Halle Berry and Denzel Washington winning for Best Actor. They're winning. Others are winning supporting, but again, here we are going. It was 40 years when Halle finally won hers, and now here we are 20 years later, and still not another Black woman or Black man has won.
That's right.
Best Actor. But the thing that I love, I see that we're putting in the work. We are. When I think of Ava DuVernay, Barry Jenkins, Sandra Rice, we're putting in the work. They're coming out.
Yes.
You know, but
do you think that is that going to rule us the whole time we're here, or do we do our own awards? What do you?
Here's the thing: we are doing our own awards. We've got two of them. We've got the BET and the NAACP.
Yes.
You know, we take pride in them. That's unfortunately, right. When it comes to the industry, those that have the masses on lockdown, and there's where the problem lies. We're able to get our work done. I mean, and I love this. I share this a lot of times. Oscar Micheaux, he was the first African-American filmmaker who produced over 40 projects in the early 20th century. You know, when people do their homework, they need to understand we were doing it. We've been doing the work. It's just trying to get it out there.
Yes.
It's just trying to get it out there. So that's the only part. Whereas I think it's going to get to a place where we do have that kind of ownership. You know, we've got the OWN network. We've got the Tyler Perry doing it, and the BETs and this and that and the other. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, the industry is still critical of the work. It still has to be. They're looking for us to put out the slapstick, the blackface, the funny stuff, the stuff that really doesn't serve us as a people right now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, and they, once again, we're still fighting for, look, Black love is real. It's okay to show two Black people kissing on camera. Will y'all please stop and move forward with this?
Yes, sir. You're right. So do you have any advice for our young people, our new people trying to do what we're doing?
Here's the thing. I understand that film school is expensive. I didn't go to film school. I went to college, but I got a bachelor's and a master's degree in two totally different disciplines. But what I have learned is this: learn from the best. Watch the Spike Lees, watch the Barry Jenkins, watch whoever it is that you're looking up to. Watch them. If you ever have an opportunity to sit in on one of their master classes or to hear them discuss how filmmaking is done, do it. It's right now, the young people, you have access to things that someone my age did not have access to in the 70s. It's called Google. It's called Google.
I'm sorry.
Right. You've got the material is there for you to learn how this business runs, how this business operates, so that you can learn and create your own. But whatever you do, just know, when my parents used to say, and a lot of us have heard this, you got to work 10 times harder. That's serious. You have to work 10 times harder, which means you've got to follow those that you're looking up to. I look up to Barry Jenkins. I look up to Ava DuVernay. I look up to Sandra Rice because they're doing it. Their proof is in their work. So why not listen to them? Watch what they do. Yes, you can't afford a film school, but you can still learn how this is done. And I would always say this too: find your community, because ain't nothing. Listen, people consider Tyler Perry's name may be on the top. Barry Jenkins' name, maybe Ava DuVernay might have her name, but trust me, there's a team. They have a team that is helping them get to where they want to do. So you want to get a team of like-minded individuals that are going to help you get to where you want to be. And even there, a community outside of your team that's going to encourage you. This platform right here, Black Filmmakers Matter. There's a reason why this platform was created. so that you can feed your creativity, but also learn in the process, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. Like I
Right.
said, I didn't go to film school, but what I did do was the people that I was watching, and I'm trying to remember, I think it's a proverb that I learned from a Muslim brother of mine who said, I'm never going to let a man come into my house and do a job and not learn what that job is, because once he leaves, I know that job is so I can do it the next time,
That's right.
versus have him come back in. Do that. Learn. Don't. This is one of those industries, those art forms. You cannot be lazy. You cannot. You have got to learn this business. You've got to learn how things work. I, to this day, still don't know which lens is this, which angle is this. But what I do know is when I'm looking at something, I know what looks good and what doesn't look good.
Good, Ken. That's right.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you so much. Ken Gregory, Black Filmmakers Matter, guys. Look him up on social media. Awesome information. Ken, please come back for a
I
part
will, because let me do a quick shout out. I'm working on my next project.
two. Okay.
It is another short. We shoot October 19th and 20th. It's called Becoming Sydney. It is about the great Sidney Poitier. It is about his early days before he earned his Oscar, the audition that he had to do that changed his life, and the person who helped him do it.
Wow. Look, Ken, you got me going. I got me excited, man. Started dancing.
Yep.
Wow. Porty. Yes, man.
Yes.
You're going to keep me posted.
Of course.
Okay. So when you finish, let me know.
Okay, I will. And you'll get to screen it first. I'm gonna let your eyes see it before everybody else.
Yay. Okay, Ken, thank you so much. If you have any questions, need anything, let me know, okay?
I will.
And send some more of us this way.
I will.
Just let these students and these kids know we're here.
We're here. And we got to tell our stories. We have to.
That's right.
And your voice matters. More importantly, you got to know that your voice matters.